Hi, you should be all warm now, so I'm going to demo the exercises. I want you to have a go at them with me because you need to know where and how to use the bands, and you need to know that you feel nice and comfortable with them. So today's session is all about combinations of movements, so that makes it more challenging, more demand on the core muscles to keep you stable, more challenging for your heart and lungs because you're stringing together more movements to make one repetition. And let's get going. First one we have is both handles of the band in one hand. Band is anchored at about shoulder height in a door, very safely and firmly anchored. Stand with feet shoulder width apart. And what you're doing is you're doing a reverse lunge. And then as you come up, you're rowing and raising your knee. So that's a reverse lunge with a row and a knee. And the knee is coming up on the side that you're rowing, so it's going to take a lot of core control to keep you in the right position. Obviously, we're doing them on both sides when we get into the workout. Next, we have a chest press into a reverse front raise. So we're getting into our chest press position, which is knuckles facing forward, handles under your arm. And what we're doing is we're pushing forward into a chest press, and then we're bringing the bands down and back up, back, forward, down and up. Now I'm not going to lie, the bands are slightly annoying going up and down your sides as you bring them down and up. I try and tell myself that it's a side massage rather than an annoyance. It hasn't worked yet, but it is a good movement. And we're going to do quite a lot of these because they can be a bit of a slow burner. I'm going to do 20, but you can stop anywhere from 15 onwards depending on where you've met your limit. So next we have a Pallof press into a lateral lunge. Now with this one I might have to demo it in 2 stages because of the angle of the camera and where I'm stepping out to. So our Pallof press, we're standing ideally parallel with where the band is anchored and with lots of nice resistance on the band, and we're pushing straight out and pulling back. The bands are going to try and pull you in that direction or towards where it's anchored, so you're going to need to hold nice and tightly through the core to keep that path straight. If you can't help it, but letting the band curve, step closer to your anchor point. If it feels too easy, either up the band resistance or step away from the anchor point and make it hard. You basically need to be fighting the band to keep it in a straight line. If it's easy and if you're not really fighting it, then it's not going to be doing what you want it to do. So once you've gone out and in, what we're doing is a lateral lunge where you step sideways and you pull with one foot and you squat down, pushing your hips back. Now what I'm going to do for anyone that isn't familiar with lateral lunge, I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see a bit more of what's happening. So you're stepping sideways and then coming back and down. The difference is with this one, you're holding the resistance band here, so you're going to get a pull against where the anchor point is. So again, keeping nice and firm through here to keep your body in the right position. Next, we have a sumo squat with a calf raise. Now this one, I'm going to move the camera again because you need to be able to see what's going on. So bear with me while I get into position. So our sumo squat, really wide, exaggerated stance, toes pointing out, similar to second position in ballet. This is otherwise known as the plie squat. And what we're doing is we're squatting down and getting our hips as far and low back as we can. From the side, looks like so. And then when we're down, we're either going to come up onto both toes, like so, or if that's too wobbly, do one toe and then the other. And that is called a sumo squat with a calf raise. So you're hitting your thighs and your calves all at once, which everyone loves. And then what we have now is what's called a banded hip extension. And with this one, You're going to want quite a heavy resistance on your band. Actually, no, maybe not that heavy. In fact, I completely lie. You're going to want a light resistance on your band because we're going to be coiling it up. So you're going to clip them together if you haven't got one that loops already, and you're going to coil it. So you've got two coils. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to put the mats down so I can show you. You're going to step into the band and you're going to have the band just above your knees. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get down into position. I'm using mats because I like to be comfortable. And then what you're going to do is keep your knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders. You're going to bring one leg up and down. Up and down, up and down. Now with this one, you want your hips to stay level. If you're struggling to keep them level, find something like a light book or a plastic bowl or something and balance it on your back so you know if you're swaying too much, and your effort is to keep whatever you've got on your back there, and that will help stabilise you. Because what we want is the movement to all be coming through here rather than through your torso and hips swaying. So just to show you again. Also, if you're finding that the band's moving on your supporting leg, just tuck it under your knee and that should help keep it in place. So if you look at my back and my hips, they're pretty still. And then we'll be doing the same on the other side. Once we've done those, what we'll be doing then is we will be doing some squat thrusts. Our squat thrusts are full plank position, and then you're jumping your feet in and out. So I'm going to do that facing the other way so you can see a little bit better. Full plank position, jumping your feet in, so they're coming outside of your hands. My goodness, I get into some undignified positions filming these. So that's the workout. What you have, oh hello, that's rather blinding. What you have is the strength-based combinations, and we're going to be doing 12 of each, 3 rounds, and if they're single-sided, you'll be doing 12 on each side. And then anywhere between 15 and 20 squat thrusts, or at least that's the aim. Sorry, terrible lighting. So, let's get going. Hi, you should be feeling nice and warm now and ready to go. So you need to have your resistance band anchored at about shoulder height in your door. Make sure it's shut nice and firmly, and ideally you've got something against the bottom of it to stop it popping open if there is a problem. With this one, we are looking at really limited rest periods, so really you only want to rest while you're transitioning between the movements or for a very, very quick drink, but we want to keep the intensity up as high as we can. So without any further ado, let's get going. We are starting with our reverse lunge, going into a row with a raised knee, and go. We're going for 12 on each side. Now you can balance, you can hold on to something if you need support with your balance, but ideally, if you can, try and do without, because that means you're using your core muscles to stabilise. And swap sides. Trying to get all the way to the floor with your back knee. Pulling your elbow back, but keeping your arm nice and close to your side in your row. Ooh. You will wobble. That's fine, just try and keep upright. and 12. And then we're moving into our chest press with our reverse raise. So start with a good amount of resistance on the band. If you find that 12 reps isn't giving you enough of a challenge, you can go for anything up to 20, or you can repeat the circuit as many times as you like. I'm going to do one more. And then we have our Pallof press into our lateral raise. So again, starting with some nice resistance on the band, straight out and in, and dropping down into your lateral lunge. I have a feeling I said lateral raise, I meant lateral lunge. Make sure you're working at a challenging resistance. You should feel that the band is trying to pull your arms around. If you don't feel that, step away from the anchor point so the bands are stretching more, or add an extra band or go up a level. Got two more. I'm afraid you get to see the back of me as I do this one. About halfway through. Two more. And rest. Oh, excuse me. So then we're going into our sumo squat with calf raise. So I'm just going to move the phone so you can see slightly better what I'm doing. So we've got a nice wide stance, dropping down and raising your heels. If you can't do both feet at once, just do one foot at a time. Nearly there, we're on 8. And then grabbing your light band and the mat if you need it. We're coming down for our glute kickbacks. I'm going to tuck the resistance band under the supporting knee to try and stop it moving. I'll push my shoulders away from my hands and go. Making sure you're keeping hips level and torso still. You want all of the movement to be focused from the glute. Three more. and then swapping legs. Trying to keep everything nice and level. Last one. Then lose the band. And we're going straight into our squat thrusts. And we're going for 15. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's super quick rest, grab a drink, then go again. This is where I leave you to it. Start me again if you want to follow along again. Otherwise, I'll see you for the cool down.